Well, this is what the problem was this time. So we had a broken leaf spring. Broke when we were pulling into our site. I guess considering that, it could have been a lot worse. How's it going? I'm Jared Gillis. Welcome to another All About RVs. Today we're going to talk about the unfortunate circumstances of when you might find yourself on the side of the road with a broken down RV. So there's lots of things that can go wrong. You can have an issue with your tow vehicle, with the suspension, with the engine. There's lots of reasons why you might find yourself on the side of the road with your RV and you're in need of some help. So today we wanted to share a few of the things that have helped us through those times, what we do as a process to be able to get back on the road quickly and safely, and a handful of things that we actually keep on hand so that we can minimize the amount of time that we might be broken down on the side of the road that would cause us to not be able to keep moving. So that's what we have on tap for today. Now, a lot of these things are going to fall under the common sense category, but remembering them and walking through the steps, a lot of these steps are almost going to be in the first position because a lot of these things are going to be very important when you come up against it. So number one is going to be to stay calm. You want to stay calm so that you don't make more mistakes or compound the issue. So that's going to be number one. Stay calm throughout all of it. If you're traveling with somebody else, try and communicate clearly. Don't let those emotions rise and cause complication and frustration to the situation. Just work through the process, work through the steps to be able to get back on the road. Safety is usually number one. So number one would be safely get off the road. Everybody's heard about safety first, but being able to think about safety throughout each step of it. So the first step would be you want to find a place that you can safely get pulled off the road so you're not going to get hit and you're not going to be in a dangerous situation. If you have those triangle cones or something to where you can mark behind your RV that you're broken down, set those up so that you can safely be pulled off the side of the road so you can find a place to work on the RV or have the RV worked on. But safety is going to be one of those things that we keep in mind as we go through those steps to get back on the road. So if this isn't where you're going to be able to do the main repair to get back on the road, maybe it's a little bit more involved, where are you safely going to be able to get your RV to? Whether you need to think about towing, can you get to an RV park? What do you need to do to each step be safe throughout this process is what you want to consider as you make all these decisions. For instance, when we had our old truck and we were going through the Arizona desert and we needed to be able to get the RV off the side of the road also and tow our truck. So we were able to tow both those. The towing company was able to take the RV to the RV park so we can stay in it while we had the truck looked at, because it was something that was beyond my capabilities to be able to fix on the side of the road. Getting to an RV park or getting towed off the side of the road is going to be something that's going to help you stay safe. But that brings us to the next point, is assessing the situation. So you want to figure out, is this something that I can fix? Is this something that I'll be able to get the supplies for? Do I have the supplies on hand? Look at your resources. You want to assess what the situation is and what's going to be the quickest, safest way out of this situation. So I like to try and break it down really quick and put it into one of two categories. Majority of the time, we've been able to fix whatever we need to on the side of the road, or is this something that is outside of my capabilities or resources that I have with me that I need to be towed? Now, you also want to look at the towing service that you might have, because you want to know what your towing is before you get in that situation. So whether you have it through your insurance or you have it through a Good Sam towing service or something like that, you want to know what your options are for being able to get off the road. Now, assessing the situation is going to be different for everybody. So for me, I usually default on how I'm going to fix it. I like to be able to fix it because I can usually do it quicker, faster, get up on the road sooner. But for some people, they wouldn't want to do it that way. So looking at it as far as towing or having a service coming over to swap out your tire, what does that look like for you? And it's going to be different for everybody individually. So that brings us to the next one, is resources. What resources do you have available to you at that time? Sometimes you have brought those resources with you. Sometimes you need to be able to buy something at a supply store or a shop or something like that. What are those resources that you have around you? For instance, we were going through Alaska and we had the tire pressure monitor alert us that we were losing pressure in one of the tires. So I was able to safely pull over, assess what we needed to do. I obviously had a spare, I had a jack. So within 15 minutes, we had the old one pulled off, the spare put on, and we were back on the road in 15 minutes. We were on the side of the road for a very minimal amount of time. I assessed the resources that we had. We had brought everything that we needed to do to be able to do that quickly. It was quick and easy. So when we broke the leaf spring, when we got into here, can't believe that we broke it so close to pulling into our spot. So we were able to get into our spot, and then I had to figure out what resources I had available. We're asking around, calling around. I found them 40 minutes away. I was able to get 4, and we were able to safely do the repairs so we can get back on the road. Now we keep a couple extra things on hand than is normal to hopefully minimize the amount of time that we would be down if we have a failure. So the way that I think about it is if we have something broken on the truck and the truck breaks down, we're able to tow the truck. They're able to lift that up and tow it, and then we can still tow our fifth wheel. That's still movable. That can still be towed. But if we have a failure on the RV, say in the axle or the leaf spring or the bearing or something that it can't roll, we're going to be stuck in that location. It would be very, very difficult to think about our fifth wheel being put onto a tow truck. It needs to be pulled. So I have a few things on hand that help us in that situation. The funny thing is I was in a trailer supply place trying to pick up a few of these extra things to have on hand. And he was like, why are you gonna bring so many extra things? You could just tow an extra fifth wheel behind you. And I get the point. You can take too much. So the things that I ended up doing are the bearings, the shackles for the suspension are something that I keep a couple extra on hand just in case. You can always upgrade this kit to where you have the much thicker shackles. We never did it on this RV. And I also keep a little bit of the hardware for the suspension. These are really simple and cheap to have on hand also. So I used to not carry a leaf spring with us, but I was very glad that we had that on hand because in a pinch, we could have replaced the one leaf spring and been able to continue moving so we could replace the other 3. But I had picked that up in Alaska because after driving that Alaskan highway, I could see that our leaf springs were looking much more flat than they were originally. So I wanted something in case we were coming back through Canada that we weren't going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere with no option. So those handful of things, a little bit of hardware for the suspension, leaf spring, bearings, those kind of things so that I can continue having that RV roll down the road is going to be the key of what I'm looking for of taking extra equipment. So that's pretty much it for trying to make the best of a bad situation, is just keep it safe, keep it calm, assess your situation, look at your resources, and maybe bring a few extra things so that you're not stranded on the side of the road with no options. So I think that's gonna do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Quick little video so that things that you might need to think about so that you can go through that process in a more calm way if it ever happens. Hopefully it doesn't, but you're ready if it does. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos about RVing, hit that subscribe button. And if we don't see you on the road, hopefully we will see you next video.